Tonight on the Lawyers and Podcast Show, South Africa to host BRICS Summit despite Putin arrest warrant. The BRICS Summit will be next month in August. And basically, the ICC is expecting South Africa to arrest Putin. What would be the showdown? And what would be the decision? Lawyer Henderson will explain. And we're live. Ooh. The BRICS Summit is just weeks away, and South Africa is supposed to be hosting it. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Lawyer Henderson. This is the Lawyers and Podcast Show. The BRICS Summit is scheduled for South Africa, and it will go on, according to sources, as planned. But will South Africa arrest Russia's President Vladimir Putin on allegations of war crimes? The ICC is wanting them to do that if he attend the BRICS Summit. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I'm your gracious host. I'm Lawyer Henderson. Hit the like buttons, hit the thumbs button. We're bringing video back to back today, and we're going to bring these videos constantly, and we hope that you basically donate for the cause, and basically so that we could strengthen our algorithm too, because we know that Screw2 don't like us, because a lot of times we call out white people for their hypocrisy. And so they got, of course, white people that work for YouTube. They got white people that work, these white supremacists are working for these mass media companies. And I have spent a lot of money in YouTube, and has spent a lot of money campaigning that my shows will come on. And then I told you, make sure that you could basically get the notifications. But YouTube have been unsubscribing people. Okay, they have been basically upset. They have been messing with my screening service as well. And they just don't basically like my channel. Okay, and that's fine, because we have other platforms coming in the future. I've been telling you about that. And we're going to have to get some assistance here, because we're growing. In fact, every week or so and every month we get a lot of people, a lot of viewers. But even though we get subscribers, Screw2 will then take subscribers away. But nonetheless, that's okay, because we're here. And the Lawyers and Podcast Show is live. Now, before we get to our topic of the day, I wanted to talk a little bit about the upcoming presidential election in 2024. It is coming up, and the Democrats are scared. The Democrats thinking that we're going to go out and vote for nothing again. They already got their bought and paid for bootlicking flunkies. Okay, so they thinking they're going to be thinking that they're going to try to get their Democratic shields to get us out there to the polls and vote again. No, not with no tangible benefits. This is the new airwave that people are seeing. that we black folks, we're just not going to show up at the polls. They're always concerned about what black folks are doing. And you notice that these white supremacists, they don't like us, but they want to find out what we're up to. These white folks are always wanting to tune in to our podcasts and broadcasts and things of that nature in our live. They want to know what black people are doing or up to, what we basically, thinking at that point. You see, speaking of Democrats and Democratic shields, all due respect to the Reverend Jesse Jackson, but he's stepping down from his organization, the Rainbow Push, and they're trying to find a new leader for the organization. And Jesse Jackson, like any other so-called black leader, we don't need any leaders in the black community. What we need is our reparations, a black agenda. We need punishment for, when the police do wrong. And we don't want the white corporate media and the same people working for the government now working for the corporate white media. We don't like that type of situation. And I was just listening to a podcast. I'm not going to say the gentleman's name, but he basically, when Anderson Cooper brought on Cornel West, Cornel West is running as a Green Party member. And when he brought on Cornel West, I didn't know that Anderson Cooper used to intern for the CIA. That was interesting. And that Cornel West was over there white-splaining why, Bush invaded Iraq, and and basically, how corrupt that George Tenet that worked under Bush and his administration and all these folks, they were basically lying about the Iraqi war. Okay. And that kind of situation is what a lot of other people is talking about, world leaders are talking about, is hypocrisy, which brings us to our subject today about South Africa to host the BRICS summit despite Putin arrest warrant. Will they arrest Vladimir Putin on war crimes? Okay. We're going to read the article. This is from Reuters by Karen Duplessis. Hope I said the person's name right. And we basically have a fair use situation, just like any other podcasts. And the fair use situation is to read Reuters and any other articles and to give our take on the situation instead of always relying on the white corporate media for analysis and for their releases, just to take it, as a grain of salt and just say, hey, oh, that's what the story is about. Oh, okay. See, we're no longer doing that no more. And these white folks are upset because we want our own independent mind. We're thinking differently. We're not going to go out there and just believe anything. That's what the Democrats are up to as well. What, black folks are not going to vote and they're going to sit home and they're not going to come and vote for us, us Democrats? Hell no, we're not voting for y'all. See, they think that they own us. They think that they can control us, you see. And that's not the case, especially with the younger generation. But anyway, I digress. And it started out by saying that South Africa said on Thursday, now this is June 29th, 2023, that this was written. Like I said, fair use. South Africa said on Thursday it would host the BRICS bloc summit in August as planned. Admin speculation that it may move to China so Russia's President Vladimir Putin can attend in a nation not obliged to arrest him on war crime accusations. South Africa has a duty as a signatory signatory to the International Criminal Court, the ICC, to arrest Putin if he attends to talks between the leaders of Brazil, Russia, India, and China due to an arrest warrant over the deportation of children from Ukraine. Okay? So they said that Putin is the bad guy. Just like these white folks who said Hitler was the bad guy. Putin is the bad guy. You see, we got to watch this propaganda. Putin is a thug just like Bush and Cheney and Obama and any other type of white man who was president and who engaged in war crimes. Daddy Bush, all of these people, Clinton, all of them are war criminals too. So Julius Malema comes out and he says, we're not going to listen to these hypocrites of the West. And he was right on about that because they did not arrest Obama for killing Gaddafi. So what we have to understand about the white Western power spheres, these white people, they are basically trying to continue their backwards way of international policy. Okay, Putin is the criminal, and therefore y'all should arrest Putin and blah, 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 blah. He's just one man. Okay, just like they said David Duke was bad. David Duke is acting like any other white man. What is the difference between how Putin is acting than Bush acted in Iraq? It doesn't make sense here. But yeah, it's Putin that needs to be arrested on war crimes. Okay, put all the thugs in jail, you see. That's what I say. The article goes on, thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe too. The article goes on to say that Putin denies the charges. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa met with him on June the 17th in Russia, historically a strong ally of the governing African National Congress, the ANC. Since it was liberated, since it was a liberation movement fighting white minority rule decades ago. South Africa will host the 15th BRICS Summit at the Centaur Convention Center in Sandton. I hope I said that right. Sandton, Johannesburg, from the 22nd to the 24th of August of 2023. The Department of International Relations said in a statement. Presidency spokesperson Vincent Mawonda confirmed to Reuters in a text message that this means the whole summit, including the main part involving the BRICS head of state, would take place in South Africa. He and the spokesperson for the International Relationships Department declined to comment on whether or not Putin will attend. South African officials had at the end of the last month said the BRICS countries were considering moving the summit to China, which is not a member of the International Court. They could still decide to change the venue at the last minute. See, even though despite the fact that the South Africans have said, listen, we're not going to move the BRICS summit, okay? and there has been activists like Julius Malema said, Putin will not be arrested even if we have it. You see, the Western powers are saying, we still run and control things. And this is what the BRICS summit is about. They're saying that you're not going to control anything anymore, you see. It goes on to say here, on Tuesday, South Africa Minister of International Relations, Naledi Pandor, said Putin had not yet replied to an invitation sent before the ICC charged him on March 18. Chinese President Xi Jinping, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva are all planning to attend, Pandor said. Okay, so you have there Modi, the Prime Minister of India. And so India has been meeting, India's President Modi, he's been meeting with Biden. And he also have been meeting with, China and other places. So he's been playing both sides here. You see what I'm saying? He's been playing both sides. He came and spoke to the Congress and the Senate not too long ago here in the United States, and then he went back and said, "Yeah, I'm going to attend the BRICS summit. I want to basically to have a different type of currency here." Okay, I like what you white folks are talking about, but the Chinese and other people, they're putting their money where their mouth is, like we said before, and that's what the Africans are saying here. Okay. And so the Western powers are always saying, "Oh, well, if we give you billions of dollars, we give you billions of dollars. Oh, you're going to have to support our LGBT agenda and stuff like that." You see, they always got to have some type of, got to be some type of add-on, or it got to be some type of stipulation before you get aid. And they're trying to stop that with the BRICS currency. And I feel them on this. Okay. So it says that South Africa says it is neutral in the Ukraine conflict, but has been criticized by Western powers for being friendly to Russia, including hosting the foreign minister Sergei Lavrov in conducting joint naval exercising. You see. So right now they're trying to tell black folks, of course, African people, you can't do this. We still control you niggers. Or you're not supposed to be doing anything that we don't want you to do. This is what these white folks are still thinking. They thinking that they control us, just like the Democrats here in America think that we should just vote for them without no tangible benefits. These white folks in the Western powers and these colonial powers are still talking that crap as if we have to bow down to them. And then, of course, if you don't, then we're going to cut off your aid. And so this is what this BRICS summit is about. It's about, not wanting to use your aid anymore. Okay? You don't need your aid anymore. What are you talking about? You see? And so now, if Putin attends the summit, well, you should arrest him, South Africa. Now the black man has to step up and arrest a white man that other white men don't want to arrest himself. It doesn't make sense. Make it make sense here, okay? But when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go in depth with this article, and we're going to talk whether or not if Putin will attend the BRICS summit. You've been listening to the Lawyers and Podcast show. After the music break, we're going to continue. You got me for 30 minutes here today. Thank you for listening, though. Like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to leave your comments. We'll be right back. The BRICS Summit is coming up in August, at the end of August, as I read on the article in the first piece here of our show. You've been listening to the Lawyers and Podcast show. Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. You've been listening to the Lawyers and Podcast show. Thumbs up. Leave a review, ladies and gentlemen. Lawyer Henderson is in the building. Lawyer Henderson live. Everybody know that I am in the building. Everybody know that I am live. Thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. You see. Thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. I was basically looking at the Reuters website and looking at a lot of things going on in the world. And I didn't know that South Korea had a flooding. South Korea on the underpass, they were trying to get some people out of the floods and stuff. It says here victims pulled from flooded South Korea underpass. And that recently happened on July the 16th, 23. They also said that these Wagner fighters are in Belarus, Ukraine, and Poland says. And then they go on to talk more about the Ukraine and Russian war. If you've been listening to us, we've been talking there about the upcoming BRICS summit hosted in South Africa. And, this is a time where I get y'all prepared to call in, but we're going to get our phone system back. We're going to have it back as pretty soon so that we can basically take your phone calls as well. And we'll be updating you. Like we're just basically working on a lot of stuff, platforms, things. We're basically trying to take over the media apparatus, to make it a fair, balanced, independent media group thing. You see, I was listening to some white YouTubers, who talked there about this fair, independent media, or they want an independent media. Now, white folks, when y'all do what y'all describe as independent media, okay, when y'all use the word the right and the left and the leftists and stuff like that, that's not independent media, because you're copying the mainstream media. See, the difference between the black media and the white media itself is that we use their articles to give our opinions, a separate opinion, independent opinions that are not, that is not, hijacked by by the corporate people and corporations and stuff of that nature. You see, we basically don't have to, respond to the elitists. We have an independent situation going on. And what that independent situation is the fact that we are not controlled like the corporate media is. Okay, there's a difference in a sense, and our fair and balance of media is different from the so-called white media, whose media is not fair and balanced. They have to worry about their advertisers. They have to worry about what the government want them to say, and how they want to twist words and blame the Republicans and such and all that stuff, when it is white supremacy in general that is the problem. Not no one Republican or no Democrat. It is white supremacy, because both parties represent white supremacy in their own way. But back to this BRICS summit that Putin is supposedly is the bad guy here. And so the Reuters article also got a piece in here talking about that Russia has cluster bombs, could use them. Okay, well, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, FDR, he had bombs that he dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Okay, and of course, again, never ever arrested for war crimes. In fact, I was listening to George Bush last press conference 2 days ago, where he was talking about, and that's the reason why we didn't join the ICC, you see, because he knows that if American presidents go into a country and engage in war crimes like Bush did in Iraq, that he doesn't have to face the music with the ICC. This is the hypocrisy that they're saying here. This is what Julius Malema and all these other activists are saying. They're saying that the Western powers are hypocrites because they want South Africa to arrest Putin, but you don't arrest Bush. You don't arrest Clinton. You don't arrest Obama. You don't arrest all these other folks that have engaged in war crimes as well on smaller nations. You see, everybody is challenging the bulliness of America, you see. And so therefore, this is the reason why the white elitists that runs the major white newspapers, they buy a lot of advertisement and they put their bogus videos on YouTube, and they have to purchase a lot of this stuff and force ScrewTube and other platforms to come on because they know that the younger generation doesn't want to look at them on TV. They don't even want to go to the website hardly to get news from the white media unless it's something very important, unless it's something that is useful. You see, the news that we got now, like I told you about Anderson Cooper, who allegedly used to work as an intern from the CIA and now is working for CNN. And this is how these people do it. They bring people from the government on, and some of these people are working in the white media and vice versa. They're working for the government, and then they get into media, and they go and get into the CIA, and then it's this big old camouflage of lies, manipulation, deceit on the American people, thinking that they're getting real, adequate, balanced news, and they're not. And Fox News, and all these others, as far as conservative news, claiming that they're balanced, and they're not. You see? And that's the reason then why people are coming to the independent news people. The black media, of course, we served black folks, and everybody is always wanting to figure out what black people are up to, okay? And so that's the reason why we are even getting the white folks listening to us. The younger white generation, they're listening to us now because they see the propaganda that these white elitists and these so-called liberals and conservative are engaging in along with the government. You see, these white elitists is wanting to take down certain people and then call them conspiracy theorists when they don't believe in their propaganda and when they think it's bigger than what it is. You know, we think it's bigger. We know it's bigger. We know that the white elites are part of it, and we don't really listen to them, and they're upset about it. But ladies and gentlemen, here to answer your question, I think that Putin may attend. I think that he possibly would probably do like what they describe as a on-screen conference, right? And I think that he would not be arrested if he did attend. And the ICC, I don't know why they don't have their own military-style world police to come and get these people themselves, okay? So that's a situation where, like I said, Bush decided, no, we're not going to join the ICC, okay? And so if you're not going to have countries to corroborate, then why do you basically join these types of, international court systems and bureaucrats? It doesn't make sense, like the International Monetary Fund. All these people are keeping Africa in debt, you see. And so we basically are going to watch and see if Putin attends, if he doesn't, or if they're going to change it to China. We don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, leave your comments down, like, share, and subscribe. I told you today that this will be a short video. I wanted to only come on for like 30 little small minutes I didn't want to waste your time because I had already did two other videos and stuff, about that porn star, and going after Zion Williamson, what Mariah Mills, and then I also did the other story on what was that story about? The Asians, affirmative action and stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, y'all getting back to back videos from me, man. I'm like, man, y'all was like, yeah, man, we missed Lawyer Henderson commentary. And these white folks, meanwhile, that used to ScrewTube has been, taking away my subscribers, talking about that I got a warning and violation and all that old boy crap because they don't want us, see if you're a black man and you're talking about, some old ratchet chick stuff, they promote those types of videos. You notice that? And this is what white people think of us. They think that we should only promote filth and ratchetness, and we should not have a intelligent dialogue about what's going on in the world. They want to keep us down, and this is how they have been keeping us in a segmented labor market for so long, because they have been taking the ratchetness of our culture and elevating them along with these other people who are coming over to the country who basically is posing like they're part of black society, you see. But we as the black native, ADOS, or foundational black Americans, whatever you want to call us, we have to protect our culture, and we have to make sure that we analyze these white folks in their newspapers and also any other type of situation, whether it come from white folks, Asians, Hispanics, Latinos, or whoever. We have to call out all races and groups and let them know that we're not standing for it anymore. If you have not subscribed to the Lawyer Henderson podcast show, you should do so. We'll be back next Tuesday with some more videos. And also, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave your comments. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to a podcast, a broadcast. Some of y'all say, yo, I want to see you live. What's going on? I want to see you live, brother. We'll see you live in a minute. The Lawyer Henderson podcast show is out.